first things first, let's talk about the Young Thug trial. So this is something that we haven't necessarily visited. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to continue to read Super Chats throughout the show. This is something that we haven't visited in a long time. And the reason why I want to talk about this Young Thug trial is, A, it is the longest trial. I'm hearing that it is the longest trial in history. It is the longest trial in history. One of the things that I think is egregious about this trial is that it's basically, in my opinion, it's probably draining Young Thug. Every single dime that he's ever had. Every single dime that he's ever had is probably being used towards this trial, because who can afford to get this level of legal representation in order to defend yourself in a court of law and prevent yourself from going to jail in a RICO trial? You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm a huge advocate for getting the thugs off the street. I'm a huge advocate for getting the thugs off the street. I do not like crime in my neighborhoods. I don't do anything, but I am consistent, objectively consistent. And the reason that I'm going to tell you that I'm consistent is because I believe that everybody is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Meaning that no matter what it is that they're accusing you of, it doesn't mean that it's true. And I don't just take anybody's word for it. You got to be able to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt in order to be able to convict somebody. So if they can't prove that he did some of the things that they're accusing him of, and it's a lie, because people lie every day in order to be able to get their credentials, in order to be able to boost their careers. Prosecutors put people in jail every single day that they're not necessarily guilty of. Yes, it is longer than the OJ trial, Bob Brown. I believe objectively what's beautiful about America is that everybody deserves their day in court. But what happens when you got a Fani Willis at the helm that allegedly, actually not even allegedly, went to the White House before filing charges on somebody like a Trump, or when a Fulton County DA or all of these judges and stuff like that are colluding with each other? What happens when you, as a trial attorney for the defendant, then get information that says that they are secretly meeting with each other in order to get you convicted? What do? How do we handle that? How do we, as the American people, even though we don't like crime and some of the things that's happening in our culture and in our neighborhood, we still got to objectively stand on principles and morals, because any form of corruption within a government ultimately is a system that we cannot embrace, because it will never be fair towards whoever it is that is or isn't guilty. If the system itself is corrupt and you got absolute power to be able to determine somebody else's fate, despite the fact that we've put safeguards in place in order to ensure that people are supposedly getting a fair and equal day in trial, how do we trust the system? If you can't trust the system, if you cannot trust the system, if you can't trust justice, that is the thing that we have to protect the most in society. And so Young Thug's lawyer has been jailed, but you cannot even remotely believe why. Check it out.
Tonight with that dramatic new twist in the racketeering trial against Young Thug. The judge holds the rapper's lawyer in contempt. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. This after the defense attorney confronted the judge about a private conversation in the judge's chamber. Fox 5's Christopher King joins us to fill us in on what happened here and why. Christopher?
Well, Courtney, Russ, a contentious day in court and a contentious trial that's taken lots of bizarre turns. Young Thug's lawyer told the court he found out about a conversation between the judge, prosecutors, and a star witness for the DA's office. The judge said that defense lawyer was not supposed to be privy to that information.
I asked you how you got it.
A combative exchange between the judge and the defense lawyer for rapper Young Thug. Judge Ural Glanville repeatedly grilled lawyer Brian Steele on how he got private information from the judge's chamber. Steele refused to divulge his source.
I can't do that. Yes, you can, because I have an idea how you got it.
Well, your idea
I have an
may be
idea
wrong.
how you got it, but that's improper, sir.
Your idea may be wrong, and you're asking me to
Listen, I told you the first time.
Steele on Monday told the court he learned of a conversation between the judge, prosecutors, and Kenneth Copeland, a witness for the DA's office. Steele argued he should have been in that meeting.
I understand that you spoke with a witness outside our presence.
And whenever, yes, I had an ex parte conversation, which is appropriate.
And you influenced the witness.
The judge says Steele was not supposed to be part of that conversation.
This is so sacrosanct to have a conversation in my chambers parroted to you and others. It is.
The judge is more concerned with how he got the information about him having a meeting that they were not supposed to be having without the attorney for the defendant present. He's more concerned with abusing power and then also grilling the attorney, the defendant's attorney, about how it is that he got the information instead of addressing the fact that he should not have been doing this in the first place. It's a corrupt system. Absolutely not. No way in the world that they should ever even continue with this trial. 100% objectively should be a mistrial. When you have a corrupt judge or a judge that is more concerned with whether or not the defendant's attorney, because if the defendant's attorney never found out about it in the first place, they would have just continued on with this conversation or this trial as though nothing ever happened. Yo, if I ever get caught up in anything, I need me an attorney like this. I need me a beast.
That serious.
Steele challenged the court, claiming a judge should not have contact with a sworn witness.
You're not supposed to have communication with a witness who's been sworn.
Well, I'm going to hold you in contempt.
Young thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, is on trial on racketeering charges. Steele asked for a mistrial, arguing he cannot adequately represent his client if Steele is not in court.
Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are removing me against his will, my will. You're taking away his right to counsel.
Judge Glanville denied that motion and had Steele removed from court. The judge hit Steele with the maximum sentence, 20 days in jail. Now, Steele can stretch that out over 10 weekends. Court resumes tomorrow morning at 9:30. Russ?
Let me go ahead and show y'all the actual whole exchange between a judge and not chopped up. This was the whole exchange between the judge and Young Thug's lawyer.
I think Mr. Adams is back. I have a...
He is. He's right behind you.
Sorry. I have a motion that I need to make outside the presence of Mr. Cope.
All right, you can make it right now. Is he out?
Let me know when you get down to the...
Is Mr. Copeland out?
No, he's upstairs.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, come on now. Don't come in the courtroom. Come when you get your license.
He took his jacket off later on. He must have got real heated.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
The way I understand my constitutional obligations, pursuant to the 6th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, the corresponding sections of the Georgia Constitution, I'm required to make a full and complete statement to the court. For the record, and if God forbid this goes up on appeal for the appellate courts or another tribunal, commission, or administrative body, I was told, based upon information and belief, that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on. It was told, based upon information belief, that it was told to the district attorneys that Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment. Then I was told, based upon information belief, that Adrian Love, the lawyer for Mr. Copeland, and this court were together, and Ms. Love made representations that John Melnick supposedly spoke with some attorneys for the accused and wrote an email to Miss Love, to Adrian Love, stating that Mr. Melnick does not represent the witness, and that Mr. Melnick wrote an email saying F you, and then somehow that email was CC'd. To me, that never...
Mr. Steele, can I interrupt you for just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too, and the reason
Well, I'm asking you a question.
What kind of response is that? What kind of response is, hold on, stop what you're saying about your concerns as far as how it's going to affect the trial and my client? Listen, my client's life is on the line. His freedom is on the line. You guys are having a conversation that you're not supposed to have in your chambers with a witness, with the prosecution, and we don't even know nothing about it. I had to catch it on a whim, and I had to basically expose you in front of the cameras, which thank God there's cameras here. I got to expose you in order to let you know that y'all are breaking the law and y'all not doing things above board, and this judge is corrupt and this court is corrupt and the prosecution, y'all working in cahoots, and there's no way that my client can have a fair trial because y'all are having secret meetings. And the judge's response to this is, how did you find out about this information? I'm disturbed that you even know about what's going on. Not, I didn't do it. Not, no, that's not true. Let me add additional context. You're misunderstanding how we doing this and all of that. None of that. The conversation with the judge is, how do you know about what was going on and what little birdie told you? Who snitched on me? The judge is operating like the thugs. The judge is operating like the thugs. That's crazy. And he's doing this like he Fonnie Willis out in these streets with a bad attitude.
Question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
Scuttle, if you look at SCUDDER versus state, which is 298 Georgia, 438, it's Division 2, 782 Southeast 2D 638, 2016. Our highest court says when a court meets, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. We're entitled, Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me and you and Mr. Adams meet with me and others have met with me. It's those are ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of the record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said...
And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not?
No snitching. Hey, let me give a round of applause for this lawyer. I need lawyers like this. He gonna say, oh yeah, duly noted. In the meantime, let's get back to what it is that I said. No, this ain't your... Bro, I'm bringing forth a motion and a concern about you meeting secretly in the chambers with people that you ain't even supposed to meet with, and this is illegal.
Answer that question.
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to get anybody else.
I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have his... I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't...
Hey, stand on it, big dog. He said, listen, we can have whatever kind of problem you want to have. We can have whatever kind of problem you want to have. However you want to play it, that's the road that we going to go down. We can have a problem. But you still ain't addressing why you doing stuff dirty, and you the judge that's presiding over this case.
I don't want to know about your problems, okay, at this point in time. All I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that how somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversation with a party. I mean,
a witness who was sworn in Friday. The court's telling, this is what I was told. If this is not true, not true. This court
Mr. Steele,
handed
ask
Mr.
me.
Copeland.
Tell me how you
perjury.
got. Tell me how you got the information.
Listen. Whatever you want to do.
Tell me how you got the information. Then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary information.
Why is it
or
proprietary?
Information that you should not be having that was ex parte.
Why?
With a party.
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually, all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. Is that?
I can't even believe that I'm about to say this. I can't believe that I'm about to say this. Never in a million years did I ever think that I'm about to say what I'm about to say right now. Free that man. Free that man. Because listen, look. I know that the court of public opinion is important to people. And I know that we got to say the PC right thing in order to satisfy the people. But listen, if you can't get a fair trial, or if we find out that things is happening under our, because it's too much happening here. It's too much. There's no way, man. Listen, they need to let that go. If it's on the state, the burden is on the state. The burden is on the prosecution. The burden is on the state. The burden is on our legislative branches. The burden is on our judges. The burden is on the people to actually operate above board and prove without a reasonable doubt that this man is guilty. And if you cannot get a fair trial, and if they cannot operate above board, is no way that I'm ever going to advocate for somebody that is not. Listen, that is our justice system. This is our, man, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way in the world that we can justify with all of the nonsense that's going on here. Listen, they gotta let it go. I'm never going to say, and I can't believe I'm saying this because, I don't like this. I don't like this culture. I think that the music is absolutely influencing us to do something wrong, but you can't. There's no way, objectively, whether I like it or I don't like it, rules are rules. And it ain't no way in the world that I'm ever going to advocate for the dude to spend the rest of his life in jail if they have not operated above board and proved without a reasonable doubt that he deserves to be there. No, absolutely not. It sets a bad precedent across the board. No way.
True. What this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there?
Sir, I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who tell me who this information was coming from.
I don't want to be held in contempt.
Well,
I'm
then,
not answering that question.
Stand on business, dog.
I am not
attorney-client privilege. Unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out. I tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you. I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
Stand on business. Stand on business. No, don't sit here saying, how did you get the information that somebody told me? That's your responsibility. You, the judge, should have never happened in your chambers. You supposed to be telling me. No, we not going to sit here and pass the buck. We not going to go ahead and move the goalposts. We not going to act like a modern woman. The reality is you should have told me. Man, shout out to him. He acting like that's a real one right there. Shout out to the lawyer. He told him to the face. He said, look, don't be asking me no questions. You should have told me. It should have never happened in the first place. Man, free that man, bro. Free slime.
You got 5 minutes.
Well, I don't need it. I want to continue.
I don't need it.
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he
so you gonna run out like a modern woman? Oh, made him submit. Made him, I can't believe that he just walked out. He just literally stormed out of the court like a modern woman because he wrong. He wrong. He wrong. He wrong. 10 times out of 10, he is wrong.
To killing Donovan Thomas and was, don't take my notes. No.
Nah, keep it on him.
I have
He's right behind you.
sorry. I have a motion that I need to make outside the presence of Mr. Cole.
All right, you can make it right now. Is he out?
Let me know when you get down to
Where is Mr. Copeland out?
No, he's upstairs.
I can't believe he just stormed off like that. I can't believe it. Yo, this is corrupt. It's nasty. It's dirty. It's not right. And I got to keep it a buck. I got to keep it fair across the board. Objectively, removing how I feel about the culture, removing whether or not I believe, because it doesn't matter what I think. The only thing that matters is what you can prove. And if you cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt, and if you out here operating like a thug in order to try to get me jammed up, then you got to free that man. This is America. This is not South America. This is not Canada. This is not the UK. This is not Africa. This is not China. This is not South Korea, North Korea, Singapore. None of that. This is rules are rules. And if you can't abide by the rules that you're leveraging in order to get me to thrown under the bus, then you got to free that man. No way in the world that this should ever go forward, in my personal, unprofessional opinion. Anyway.